I recently finished Honor Mode in Baldur's Gate 3, which got me 100% achievement completion in Steam, but as someone who enjoys challenging game experiences and breaking the mechanics of the game to complete them, Honor Mode was simply too easy. So I decided to make the game just a little bit harder. As you can tell by the title of the video, I'm trying to beat Baldur's Gate 3 solo, level 1, no tadpoles, with the extra difficulty options given in Honor Mode, but on a custom difficulty so I still have multiple save slots. What that means is no leveling up and all the benefits that brings, like better spells, class abilities, and feats. No recruitable companions in the party, summons are allowed as long as they are summoned by me. None of the illithid powers earned by consuming tadpoles, and Honor Mode exclusive difficulty including more difficult encounters and legendary actions and reactions. Day 2 of our playthrough takes us to Waukeen's Rest. In addition to rescuing Counselor Floric, there are 2 very important items for us to pick up here. The first is on the top floor of the Burning Inn, past this exploding door, thank you Relentless Endurance. We enter turn-based mode and Misty Step into the room to pick up the chest, then run back out the way we came. Once in safety, we lockpick the chest open and pick up the Hammerhaft, a maul with the ability to deal thunder damage when we jump. We will actually not be using this until way later in Act 3, but trust me, we absolutely need to pick it up here. The second important item here in Waukeen's Rest is the Spell Sparkler given to us by Floric. This staff lets us build up lightning charges when dealing damage with a spell. Again, we aren't actually going to be using this until Act 3, but it will be very useful when its time comes. Our next stop is the Zhentarim hideout. We sneak in through the back way, scaring the guard back into the hideout. Inside we meet Xeris, and promise to return some cargo back to her. We pick up a few barrels on our way out, and now head off to the Goblin Camp, disguised once again as a drow. Before entering, our minds get assaulted by the Absolute, but it's pushed away by the artifact conveniently brought to us by Shadowheart. She offers once more to join our party, and when we ask kindly just for the artifact, sans Shadowheart, combat begins. One reload later, we try getting a bit more creative. We throw a void bulb, pulling Shadowheart towards the middle of the bridge, then run towards her and shove her down, down, down by the river. She heals herself up, but she can't reach us down there, so one fire arrow is all it takes to take her out. We jump down ourselves and loot the artifact off of her corpse. Now, properly in the Goblin Camp, we... oh, hold on, I forgot the smuggler's ring. Okay. Now, properly in the Goblin Camp, we steal Crusher's ring, which gives us some extra movement speed. Then we get branded by Priestess Gut for a purpose that will come up later, and by the Bow of Awareness from Roa Moonglow. Once we have the items we came for, we let ourselves get poisoned by True Soul Gut, then let ourselves get freed by Karilla. Exiting Gut's chambers, we help ourselves to the Zhentarim's explosives, and then finally take a nap. In our dream, we are visited by our dream visitor, who tells us that we will
not become a mind flayer. Not while I'm around.
Waking up, we find 2 more visitors in our camp,
Scratch
and Withers. Although we can't level up, reclassing is actually going to be pretty important for us if we ever want to change our build. In fact, right now, we decide to swap from a Trickery Domain Cleric to a Tempest Domain Cleric, now that we no longer need Disguise Self. Back in the Goblin Camp, we free Volo and throw a rock at this bear we found. We start combat by using a hamstring shot and running away so that the bear will focus on the goblins, not me. But unfortunately, Butcher Vrak here seems to be on the bear's side by tossing a healing potion at it. Regardless, we manage to surround the bear, revealing that it's actually the druid Halsin. Whoa, no way! Halsin uses Thunder Wave, which actually manages to do more harm than good for him by destroying the chandelier above him. One more arrow is all we need to kill yet another potential companion. Speaking of killing potential companions, next up is Minthara. Before talking to her, we set up a fog cloud. Then we tell her the location of the Emerald Grove, but before she leaves, we hide inside our fog cloud and then wait for her to walk onto the bridge. Then we take a shot at the flimsy wooden support and watch as Minthara does her best Wile E. Coyote impression. Before ending our turn, we Misty Step out of the way just in case one of the guards spots us. Then we simply leave turn-based mode and gravity suddenly activates once again. We take another long rest to reset the guard's behavior, and get another visit in our dreams by our dream visitor, who is surprised that we
Haven't been using the parasite's power.
Clearly he hadn't been paying attention when I explained the rules of the challenge. After waking up, we get a volobotomy. This gives us the permanent buff Volo's Ursat's Eye, which lets us see invisibility. Back to the Goblin Camp once more, we ruin Ragzlin's Speak with Dead ritual. Confused, he tells us to
get to the grove. Help the drowning Thara kill the lot.
I guess news travels slowly in the Goblin Camp. We hit Ragzlin with a thunder wave so he can go check on Minthara himself. This guard here tries to arrest us, which causes a weird glitch making the screen black for 10 seconds, but once the game fixes itself, we are in combat. We start by casting Sanctuary on ourselves, but there's a problem. We're ignited and at 2 HP. If the fire rolls high enough, we'll go down and have our turn skipped, also breaking Sanctuary. So we save scum a bit until we roll 1 fire damage, leaving us at 1 HP. Unfortunately, for some reason this still breaks Sanctuary, so we drink an invisibility potion and run for our lives. Once we make it into Guts room, we fast travel out of the Goblin Camp to safety. After killing all of the Goblin leaders, we take a long rest and meet up with
Thera from the Grove.
And you know what? Killing all those potential companions really upset Liv'won, so we finally actually recruit our first real companion. Oh, whoops, now she's dead. Oh well. Back to the Emerald Grove, we report our triumph at the Goblin Camp to Zevlor. The Tieflings will come party with us during our next long rest, but before then we go find that Zhentarim cargo Xeris asked us for a little while ago. We use our double dash Sanctuary combo to get up to 440 feet of movement and run right past the first group of gnolls, right past Flint and the second group of gnolls, right past the 2 Zhent agents, and steal the cargo immediately. Ollie thinks that we are... So he and Rugen exit combat and hang out right next to us, but then when a hyena runs into the cave, they're brought right back in. On our turn, we misty step away to the high ground, breaking combat and letting Rugen and Ollie die. Then we kind of awkwardly come back into combat right afterwards, but our next turn we jump away, flee, and fast travel back to the Zhentarim hideout. However, when we go to speak to Xeris, apparently this quest is a bit bugged because I never technically talked to or saw Rugen and Ollie's bodies, so I can't return the chest to her. I really need to complete this quest for one of the rewards, so we double dash again, run back into the cave, find the dead agents, and then flee back to Xeris. Now, finally, we can return the shipment. The actual reward for this quest is kind of mediocre. The real prize is unlocking the special inventory of the merchant Brem, who sells us the Titan string bow. This bow scales off of our strength, which is permanently buffed so long as we're wielding the Club of Hill Giant strength or later drinking an elixir. We're actually going to be using this bow all the way to the end of the game, and it's going to be one of our best sources of consistent damage from now on. We take a long rest, and the Tieflings don't seem to mind the murder and blood around camp. In fact, they rather seem to enjoy it. For the first time playing this game, I found this unique cutscene that I'll just let play out here.
Her name was Arabella. Picture her! How scared she was. And no, this will hurt. I'm sorry.
Jeez, talk about a total party foul.